Jordan.
Ian.
Who decided to start a podcast, but only 8 episodes in can't think of an intro or an outro?
King Charles?
No, 2 guys. Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of 2 Guys What's Up. Jordan, it's nice to see you again.
Thanks, it's nice to see you and hear you. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm not bad, thanks. So you're not hungover?
I was until about an hour ago.
Oh, brilliant. Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
So I must be getting better at this alcoholism.
Your tolerance is getting better.
I just have to clarify something from last week before we get into everything, because
Do it.
Last week I said that I like to stay up on Sunday night to wait up for the podcast, but I was talking about being hungover. So what I did initially mean to say is I get home from work at like 7 p.m. and then I like to have a drink just as, you know, something to do to relax on a Sunday. So that's why I was hungover, because we were talking about me being hungover, and I was like, yeah, but I like to stay up. But then like those two didn't actually mean anything.
It made sense in my ears, but yeah.
Yeah. So Sunday night, I like to have a little drink, you know, end of the working week. I'm off on the Monday, so I can have a nice little drink and wait up until the podcast comes out and then go to bed. Happy.
But it was a Wednesday.
And a Thursday. And a Friday.
If it ends with D-A-Y.
It's drink time.
Well, as long as you have fun, that's the main thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, most definitely.
Anyway, what's been up with you, Ian?
Well, I'm a bit gutted, really. I mean,
Oh, why?
I got another job.
Did you?
I did, yeah. I applied to be a radio host.
Okay.
For a local radio station. I got the job, and I was hosting an 80s hour. So I was talking about 80s music and reliving some old glory days and stuff like that. But they fired me because apparently I swore too much.
I don't believe that.
I mean, what the f***? I never f***ing swear. What the hell is this shit? For f***'s sake. For f***'s sake.
Do you have any clips of this, or...?
I was able to download the one show that I did.
Oh, okay.
But they cut it short because apparently after what I did, it just got ridiculous. You know, I was just like...
Effing and blinding all over the show.
Effing and f***ing blinding.
Is this when your ma and pa walking as well?
Yeah. They're like, oh, I can't wait to see Ian at his new job. And they're walking. It's like, effing this and shitting that.
Shut your gob, son.
And my mum's like, my poor ears. Dad's like, shut your stinking and go up, you wee bag. Oh my god, so many beeps.
He's got the job now.
Yeah. Welcome to the E-teaser with me, da.
It's great because so you are very hairy,
Thank you.
but your dad is just not.
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah.
Your dad has his head has literally no hair whatsoever.
Yeah. He used to have hair down to his shoulders, by the way.
Did he?
He did.
And then
Yeah.
He started
He started his job.
the radio.
Yeah, he started the radio station and just lost all his hair. So I was quite paranoid that I was going to follow in his hairy steps and lose my hair quite early.
I was going to say you did follow in his hairy steps. You've got a lot of hair.
You know, but luckily mine has prevailed into my 30s.
Right.
You know, I'm nearly 40 now, and I'm still a hairy old bugger. It looks like I'm just wearing a onesie with a woolly cap.
It's just a little bit tangled and.
Yeah, I'm very naughty. Naughty. Yeah, but I do have a clip of the radio show, so I'll put that in now for everyone to hear.
Can't wait.
Because I do like my work to be heard, so I'll stick that in right now. Hello, and welcome to the Funky 80s with your host, me, Funky Master Ian. Today we're going to be going through some of the greatest 80s hip-hop, trip-trop, really cool, ripping beats of all time, and we're going to be doing that right about now. So where were you in the 80s? I'll tell you where I was. I was sat in a bathtub full of my own piss and shame. But I couldn't have been doing that without my favourite song on the radio. And my favourite song on the radio at that time was Broken Bog Brush by the Bum Sniffers. And we're going to play a little bit of that for you right now, so all you cool cats out there can remember just how that sounded. Put you back in the day, I think it will. Have a little listen to this. Oh yeah. Where is my bog brush? Oh god, it's broken. Now I need to go to B&M and buy a new one. Why did this happen to me? Bum Sniffers there once more, right again, with their song Broken Boat Brush, and that, I must say, is just one of my all-time classic songs. You can't get any better than that, not in my opinion anyway. But anyway, right now, it's time for me to crack and rock and roll up this fine ride, because it's time for me to go home and crack on out. And I mean a beer, not me. But anyway, catch you next time on the 80s fucking awesome hour with me, Master fucking Ian. Catch you later, cool cat. God, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Okay, right, that makes sense. Yeah.
So I'm back here with you doing Plan B. Backup plan.
That's never a good thing, is it, in any kind of way?
Oh, yeah. Never a good sign, I don't think.
Well, you say that, but tomorrow I'm actually off to a radio station as well, and I'm going to trial a shift.
Oh, yeah?
We'll see what happens.
What? What's the job for?
It's to host an 80s night.
What, the...
Well, actually, this is interesting, because they did say the last guy swore too much, and he only did one evening.
Well, this is either really coincidental, or you stole my job.
I think I might have stolen your job.
You motherf... I don't even swear that fucking much. What the fuck, man?
We'll leave this for now, shall we?
Well, hang on. Before you start the job, little word to the wise. They absolutely love it if you just call everyone bags.
Ah, okay. I'll do it.
So, hey, my name's Jordan. Welcome to the 80s hour, you bunch of bags. A bit like that. All you bags listening at home, you know, things like that. So,
great,
brilliant.
On a separate note,
yeah,
did you see the eBay auction recently of Mr. Blobby costume?
I did see that.
Did you? Did you see how much it went for?
I did not know. Go on, enlighten me.
So, when I viewed the auction, not because I was interested in buying it, of course.
Sure.
Oh, I'll just move it out of frame, hang on.
Yeah.
And at that point, it was about £4,000, which I thought, that's still a lot of money for a has-been TV show.
Like we were talking about the cards, though, it is a bit of history.
It is. Very niche, though.
Well, so are cards. It's like...
Yeah, but there's more use with cards than a blobby costume.
Well, you never know. Some guy's wife might be there. Like, get it. I want you to wear that in the bedroom. Blobby. Oh, take me now.
Just bashes through the wooden door.
Give me that blobby.
Oh, no. You hear of poppycock, but Jesus.
Gives a taste of that blobby cock.
Oh, God.
Good Lord.
Do you think it's got pink with white spots as well?
Yeah, some kind of STI there, definitely.
It's just puss. Anyway.
It's its own lubrication, isn't it?
Oh, like our merch.
Yeah.
But part of the listing was that you cannot use it in public. So you cannot use it for like parties or advertisements. It's literally only for your own home use. Okay. And what you just said is the only thing that I can think of that could be used for.
I can't imagine someone just like making a cup of tea in it.
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it? But anyway, so when I saw it, it was about £4,000, a little bit over, and it sold for what I think is a staggering £62,000.
Hell.
And it was broken. Like, the arms had fallen off, and the eye was cracked. Wasn't even pristine.
Quick stitch job, bit of glue, you're all good.
I suppose. Did you buy it?
That's why I got the lights off so you can't see me. Blobby.
Yeah, I just found it really weird.
That is very strange.
Anyway, what's the plan for today, Ian?
Well, today is my favourite kind of episode, to be honest, because I had to do absolutely zero research, zero prep, and you are apparently just going to be probing my mind, I hope?
Is that all? Yeah, so no prep whatsoever, so we'll see if this is apparent today, shall we?
Yeah. See what happens.
Yeah. And then just to segue really beautifully, I'm going to give you some of my favourite Chuck Norris jokes.
Oh, brilliant. We'll have to tag him in this and then get him on as a guest.
Don't know what he'd do, though. He's a powerful one, that Chuck Norris.
He'd probably just think, and then a million episodes will appear in our feed.
Yeah, maybe. But it's all him. There's nothing of us, though, is there?
Yeah, just change it to the Chuck Norris cast.
One guy, Chuck Norris. Perfect. Yeah. So this episode kind of came about because we were on our way to Manchester together as a little road trip, weren't we?
We were, yeah.
To see This Paranormal Life.
We were indeed, yep. Mm-hmm.
And it was a really good show. Like, I loved that weekend that we had.
That's brilliant.
But on the way, we were just sort of discussing life, really, weren't we? And the subject of paranormal came up.
It did, as it often does.
As it often does, of course. But something that I'd never heard of came about, which is your views of the paranormal.
Okay.
So this is just something I'd quite like to discuss with you. And just, you shed your information of what you believe of the paranormal world.
Okay then.
Any way that you could begin this?
Right, I tried my hardest to write this down and to accumulate my thoughts into one coherent speech, but it is absolutely impossible.
Okay.
It's quite a difficult subject, so I think you're just going to have to ask me, and I'm going to have to try and piece it all together, and hopefully by the end I'll then be able to sum it up nicely.
Okay, well, we'll see. So, what are your views on ghosts, for instance?
Okay, right, well, please bear in mind my information is not every bit of information. This is just literally the views I've taken, what I believe, that sort of thing.
It's not seen as read, yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's two sort of views, and that is that ghosts are ghosts.
So entities of a person once being.
Yeah, so they are the residual energy of a dead person.
Yes.
Right, and I mean, the whole point of that is the fact that if you think about your body, right?
Beautiful.
Thank you, Harry. Someone says to you, how do you hear? Right, you go, well, this thing on the side of my head takes in sound, it funnels it in, it vibrates these bones, which then sends a signal to my brain, and that's how sound is produced. And you go, okay, right, so that's a tangible thing that you can actually work out, right?
Yes.
And then someone might go, well, how do you smell? And you go, well, there's this thing on the front of my nose, and it takes air in, and it
against all the little fine hairs.
Yeah, exactly, and it's all, you can go, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. And
it's a physical thing, isn't it? It's
a
physical happening.
And you can see it, and you can work out the steps in order for that to happen.
Yeah.
But consciousness, which is what we all are.
Yes.
Right. We all have consciousness.
Well, some more than others.
Yeah. I don't think science really knows what consciousness is. There's no...
No, I suppose.
So what I was saying about my other examples is you can't look at a part on your body and think, this is where consciousness comes from, or this is what it is, or this is what generates it. Mm-hmm. So it's just mental that, like, we have these things, like brain cells and atoms and molecules that all come together to create this conscious being, right?
Yes. You can't really pinpoint it on one thing, can you? It's a culmination of. Yeah,
so this leads me on to the point of... sounds very, very smart, but I'm not.
We know.
So the first law of thermodynamics, so conservation of energy. So energy cannot be destroyed nor created. It is just a constant. It only can be transferred.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yes.
So there is a theory that your body is a receiver, like that of a radio.
Right.
So if you think about a radio, it's just a box.
This is different to 80s radio, isn't it?
Don't bring that up! I'm still bitter!
Sorry, too soon.
Yeah, so if you think about a radio, that is just a box, an inanimate box. And then you give it electric, you put the aerial up, and it receives voices.
Yeah. Or signals.
Yeah, signals, yeah. So something is received into it, and then it outputs something. Mm-hmm. So we can understand that because we've created that. Yeah. Well, there's a theory that your body is very similar. So we are a radio, essentially. We're a receiver.
Right.
So this consciousness is somewhere else, and we are receiving it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that gives ways to theories of, like, reincarnation and things like that.
Okay, yeah.
So when our body, the radio, essentially, the husk, the receiver, the physical, tangible thing, dies... the energy that is your consciousness cannot be destroyed. Mm-hmm. It must, or it is said that it must
transfer.
Yeah, it transfers to somewhere else.
Right.
So that doesn't explain everything. People then go, well, why can't I remember the past? Why can't I remember my past life if this energy is just going somewhere else? So I guess we'll leave that there.
Can I just say one thing? Just sorry to interrupt there.
Yeah, no, go on.
I feel like it's maybe in the region of what you're saying, but I believe I remember reading that there's a study, and it happened, I think, quite recently, where a body was weighed.
Oh, and it was weighed after death.
Yeah, and it was slightly lighter after death, like moments after.
Right.
So implying that something left.
Something left it, yeah. So does that mean that spirit or consciousness or ghost has weight to it?
Exactly. It's then another conundrum, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't really believe anything I hear. I don't believe anything I read. Well, not everything, right? But it took me a long time to learn and teach myself to not just hear something on the TV and then go, oh yeah, I believe that. Or listen to something on a podcast and hear some people that I look up to or aspire to or admire and hear their information or hear them tell me something and think, oh yeah, that must be true because they said it.
Yeah, well, you say this, but just wait for those Chuck Norris facts.
Okay, right. But yeah, so when I hear like a study, like you just said then, you hear that and you think, oh no, that's well strange. But then I have to think to myself, who did the study? Who gave the results?
What are their merits?
Yeah, not even that, but I mean, where is this source? Where's the source for it? Like, you can hear something like that and go, oh, that's really weird. Yeah, maybe that does mean something, but I have absolutely no idea where that came from.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So I can't just believe that.
Yeah.
So I can add it to my mind as something that I think, okay, that's strange. That's maybe a bit further evidence, but I still need more to get on the believers train.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I will take all these information. I'm not going to say I believe in aliens. I'm not going to say I believe in ghosts. I'm not going to say that I don't believe in ghosts. But I am willing to take all information and make up my own mind.
Yeah, I think that's all we should ever do, isn't it?
But I think I'm probably, as no one is, we're probably never going to get the right answer.
No, maybe not.
We're probably never going to understand what it is.
That's true.
But the reason for that is potentially because of another theory. So, as I was saying earlier, there's two theories that say a ghost, is a dead person. Mm-hmm. Aliens are from space. Demons are from hell, in inverted commas.
Yes.
Yeah. So all these things come from their own places and have their own backstories, and origins and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But there is another theory that all these things are the same thing.
Right. And so this is where I got slightly lost, but I found it quite fascinating.
I think I've found a better way to describe it to you. So hopefully this will help.
I hope so.
Right, so let me go on a tangent here.
Do you mind if I interrupt you occasionally to ask things?
No, please do interrupt if you do need to. Right, so this is the second theory, by the way. Right, so we live in a three-dimensional world where we can see height, width, and depth.
Yes.
But can you imagine if we lived in a two-dimensional world, right? So we could only see a flat plane.
Right.
So you can only see the depth and the length, not the height.
Okay.
We live in that world, and we see a box. In this box, there is a ball.
Okay.
This is a way to understand the fourth dimension, which I'll get into in a second, right?
Yep.
So we live on this plane in two dimensions. We can see this box, but we can't see what's inside that box. Mm-hmm. So this explains that we can only see the dimension we live in. And I'm not talking dimensions in the sci-fi realm, because I think through the times it's become very science fiction. You think, ooh, alternate dimension! Right, but I'm talking physical dimensions.
Okay.
So try and take that connotation with dimension, creepy, and just think literally nuts and bolts.
Okay.
So we can't see that ball inside that box.
Correct.
So that means that two-dimensional cannot see the three-dimensional.
Right.
So something exists that it can't see.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So us in the third dimension, using those same rules, we can't see
we can't see the fourth.
We can't see the fourth dimension.
Yeah. And the fourth can't see the fifth.
Yeah, and so on and so forth. So if there is something in the fourth dimension, I mean, like, we exist, right? We're here.
I think so.
Well, you think so. But it's not so hard to believe that something else could be somewhere else. And we know other dimensions exist, the first, the second, third. Why not there be a fourth dimension?
So is that implying that this fourth dimension, or this other dimension that we are not privy to, is coexisting as we are? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it coexists, right? So this is where what I've taken on board kind of comes out a bit more. Mm-hmm. So let's say, for example, in this fourth dimension, there is one race of thing.
Right.
So that race of thing feeds off of, say, maybe negative energy or fear, that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, maybe they do coexist. So ghosts are ghosts, but they also are the thing from the fourth dimension. But let's just say at the moment that ghosts don't exist and they all come from the fourth dimension, right? So everything that comes from this fourth dimension will come to you and appear to you how you want it to.
Okay.
So if you say you love aliens, right, and you're obsessed with aliens, and then one night you see an alien, that is something that has come from the fourth dimension that is appearing to you.
And pandering to your...
Yeah, exactly. If you believed in aliens but you didn't believe in fairies, and then you thought you saw a fairy, your mind might go, oh, it's a trick of the light. So it won't get anything. It won't get any interaction from you.
You would dismiss that.
Exactly,
yes.
Yeah. Right. So, but if you woke up in the middle of the night and you saw an alien grey in your bedroom, you'd think, I knew it, fucking hell, it's real. And it would then take what it wanted from you and then disappear. And this theory answers a lot more questions. So, like, people go, why can't we take photos of it? we're walking around with iPhones in our pocket and I see a UFO, why can't someone take a photo of it? And the reason is because it won't let you. Because it doesn't want to just be seen and found out, because then it'll become known and it won't be able to take from you what it wants to get from you.
Right, so this is where I'm slightly lost now.
Okay.
In what way would it not allow you to take a picture of it? You mean it would just disappear before that point?
Well, whatever means it wants to. So it might have some supernatural power, or supernatural as we call it, not spooky power, but a power that is beyond our knowledge.
Yeah.
To mess with technology.
Right.
It might have an understanding or some kind of extra sense that we obviously can't be aware of, living in this world, that they have that we don't. Can you imagine if it was just well known that ghosts existed and they walked the streets with us? We'd become used to it.
Yeah, I get you.
They wouldn't be able to take anything from us because we'd just be like, oh, there's another ghost. So it wouldn't then be that someone would go, holy shit, a ghost, and get scared.
Right.
And then it would be able to take what it wants from you.
And what do you think that is when you say take what it wants from you?
Well, I think what it is, it comes to people who they're going to get what it wants from. Say I'm scared of aliens and they come to my bedroom, I would be terrified.
Right.
So it would take that energy and feed off it somehow, however it does, and it would get what it wants and then go.
Got you.
But then the next day, if I said to my wife, there was an alien in the bedroom last night, she'd go, whatever. So it's not just going to let itself be photographed, and it's not going to let itself be seen. So like I was saying a second ago, what I do is I just choose to ignore it. Mm-hmm. If people go, oh, well, if you don't want to see it, then just don't believe in it. Right? And people go, oh, well, isn't it funny how it's all the people that believe in it see it, and all the people that don't believe in it don't see it? How bizarre, Mm-hmm. It's like, well, yeah, they're not going to come to you if you don't believe in it, because they're not going to be able to take anything from you.
Right, because you'll dismiss it and,
Yeah, you'll just be like, oh, whatever. But then somebody who they're going to get a rise out of, they're going to go to. So that's what I'm saying. So, like, if you believe in aliens, they're going to come to you, appear as an alien. Say a fairy came into my bedroom and I woke up, I would just be like, what the hell is that light in my room or whatever, and I'd just go back to sleep. And it wouldn't be able to take from me what it wants from me.
Right.
So why would it do that?
So are you saying then that all of these things, beings, whatever you want to describe them as, these fourth dimensional creatures or entities, maybe, that they simply want to feed off your fear? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that seems a logical explanation, because they don't necessarily come to you and be like, hey buddy, here's £1 million. They only ever come secretively. Mm-hmm. That they only ever creep up. They're only ever seen out the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
They don't ever land on the White House lawn, so to speak. People go, well, if there's aliens and if they're looking out for us or whatever, as some people think they do, they go, why don't they just land outside and appear to us? It's like, because that's not what they're here for. And some people think that they are good. There's a guy called Dr. Stephen Greer, and his whole argument is that all alien races are good, and they're here to help us.
To advance us as a civilization.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if that's true, why do they come in the middle of the night? Why do they take people? Why do they supposedly perform these horrible medical examinations? Why do they supposedly inseminate people and then take their children away? So I don't think they're nice, and they're definitely not here to help.
Okay.
Right? This whole fourth dimension thing also explains a lot of other things. Like, so, for example, in Christianity, we have demons, angels, God. In Islam, they have jinns.
Antonic?
Yep. So this explains why somebody will see a jinn. They'll say, oh, a jinn came to me last night, and it'll appear as the thing that they believe.
Yeah. I get you.
People of different religions see the thing that they believe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If there is only one religion, whichever it may be, then there would only be that one. So somebody who was a Buddhist, if they had a religious experience and Christianity was the one true religion, then surely they would see Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, because these things know, and they come to you and they appear to you as you're going to want to see them, or something that you're going to believe is real.
Yeah, and that is clearer to me now. Mm-hmm. What about the argument that this fourth dimension isn't a thing, mm-hmm. and that God and Jesus and all of these other things are all coexisting?
Okay, well then that just means that we are the third dimension, and what we live in and what we see is what it is. So people die, and that's how ghosts exist.
Okay.
So God is real. There is a hell. That's where demons come from. Aliens come and visit us from another planet. So that's the nuts and bolts. That is what it is.
Interesting. Yeah, okay, so this is interesting, because I've never really thought about aliens as being this kind of fourth dimensional thing, as you're explaining. So you don't right now believe that aliens are travelling in a spaceship from another galaxy to visit us?
Again, I don't know what to believe, so I think it could be.
Okay.
Possibly. Who knows?
Because I guess they're very two conflicting ideas, aren't they? One is either right or wrong.
Or both of them are wrong.
Or both of them are right.
That's the thing. It could be anything. It's very confusing, but I used to think when I was younger, ghosts were real. And aliens, and I was always terrified of aliens. So I thought they were real. And through going on YouTube and my friends as influencers and things like that and their views, I took them on and I thought, no, it's all a load of bullshit. Of course it's not real. Think about it. Science says this. Science can explain it like this. But then through listening to other podcasts and doing more research into it, I'm just like, well, we exist. Why couldn't this other thing exist? Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be the fact that it is, as a person who's using their science brain would explain it as, oh, people die, create ghost. Or we exist, other planets exist, people are on other planets, they come here, aliens exist. That's using the scientific methods of steps, we are, therefore, this must. But, I mean, I'm not saying it is another dimension, I'm just saying that's a possibility because it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, begs the question where we come from.
Well, exactly, right, and that is the question that we have to think about, and I'm keeping harping on about the same point, but we exist, and we are real. And I can see myself, I can see my hands, and I know that I can see myself, therefore I have consciousness. But where the hell does that consciousness come from?
It's just a simulation.
Oh, God, don't even get me started.
It's a whole different topic there, isn't it?
It is.
So is this simulation as well, then? There's a fourth dimension in the simulation.
Well, if it's a simulation, then I guess it's all just man-made, isn't it?
Yeah, so you could program whatever you like to happen in there, couldn't you?
Yeah, so, I mean, like in games, you see, like, GTA is one of the big ones. People mod it, don't they? And they can play as different characters and do different things and that sort of stuff. So there might be a creator out there, computer programmer, who's created this simulation, and they just be like, oh, I'll insert some ghosts. Oh, I'll insert some aliens. And they might be all creations that they have just invented. They might not even be a thing in their world. It's like me creating a computer simulation and going, oh, I'll invent a thing called a clobodob, and it hoovers up pigeons and spits out diamonds. In this simulation, that is a tangible thing that exists and has done forever, so...
That makes sense, yeah. Well, I mean, I also can't wrap my mind around the idea, but...
Well, that's a beautiful thing.
Makes sense.
It really has freed me, to be honest. People get so caught up in things like work and problems and money worries and stuff like that, but we're so insignificant. And we're, as far as I'm aware, only here once. At least, my memory is that of I'm only here once. So me as me, even if I am reincarnated, me as me right now, I'm only here once.
Yeah.
Why not just try and live your life? Yeah. Do everything you can. Try everything once.
Except murder.
Except murder. There's probably quite a lot of things that you probably shouldn't try once. But I used to be not worried, as everyone else probably is. You think about death and you think, oh, I don't really want to die. But I'm quite looking forward to it now because I get to see what's on the other side.
Yeah. You'd be massively disappointed if it's just black nothingness.
Yeah, well, I mean, then at least I'll know,
Yeah. Unless your consciousness just, that's it then, and you never find out. You're like, oh, for God's sake.
Well, there's a I haven't researched this or planned this or anything, so I'm going to go off the top of my head. But there is a belief that after you die, you have like a life review.
Okay.
And this all like ties into things like karma and stuff like that.
Right.
And then at the end of it, you are given a choice of bodies or existences that you can go into. So they'll be like, right, you've had a look at your life. You're a pretty shit guy. You can either be a book or...
Cockroach.
Yeah, a cockroach or, and then you have to choose which one to kind of like help repay off some of your karma. You then drink from a cup, which wipes your memory, and then you are then reborn. That is a theory that's out there.
Yeah, okay.
And has been reported, because there's been reports from some people that have said they've gotten to this bridge where at the end of it you have this cup, and they've pretended to drink out of it, or they just haven't, and then when they've come into their new existence, they've remembered the past life.
And they are sort of cheating the system, you mean?
I guess so.
So the idea is that you shouldn't remember your past self?
I guess not. I mean, I think there's like the belief system that you go through your life, you pay off your karma from like previous lives, but there's also like collective karma. People say that people reincarnate in groups. So you and I, in a previous life, might have been husband and wife.
Oh, I can only hope.
Do you want me to leave my wife?
Yes.
I've asked you hundreds of times, Jordan. Just give me the answer.
Just say yes.
There's like your individual karma, there's group karma, your country's karma, and everywhere you go, it's like it just gets bigger, and it's all the whole world is just all this balancing.
That is very fascinating. It's food for thought, isn't it?
I am hungry.
My mind is now full. That's something. Some of the experiences that you've had personally, which we've discussed previously, whether that be the EVPs or the noises or the visuals that you've seen, is that what you would now consider it being, this fourth dimensional idea?
Again, I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Well, I mean, I do have a general interest in it, don't I? So I guess it would be quite easy to tempt me into it, like to...
like lure you in?
Yeah, to coax me over, to make me investigate, and then maybe it could ramp up or something, and maybe they're just testing their luck. Maybe it's just like sending out feelers, like cold calling.
I've heard that they are quite cold to the touch.
So I've been told, yeah. Right, Bill, you're off to this house today. Just knock some shit about, see if you can finally get that hairy dickhead to bite, right? But like every time anything happens, I just ignore it. But I mean, my wife, she is quite susceptible to it, and she hears things, and she is terrified. So I guess she's an easier target. But we also have children, and my child can be scared of the dark sometimes, and he talks about aliens and ghosts and stuff. So
oh, really?
Yeah, there's someone there. The other day, my son actually came into my bedroom and woke me up. And normally, if he's playing, he'll go, Dad, there's an alien in the hallway. Oh, we got to get him, or something like that. Or Dad, there's a zombie in my bedroom, or something like that. But he'll say it quite loudly and playfully.
Yes.
But the other day, he woke me up. He was like real quiet. He whispered. He was like, Dad. I was like, oh, yeah, what's up? He's like, there's an alien outside. This time, he sounds dead serious.
And a bit worried, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like terrified to lift back the blankets and see a fucking grey stood there or something. I was thinking, like, I'm the adult in this situation. If there is an alien there, I'm gonna be the one that has to step up and fight it or something. It's like
you'll just push him at it.
Yeah.
Right, nice knowing you.
Yeah, bye. Yeah, so I was terrified. Luckily, there was nothing there
that you could see.
That I could see. Yeah, it might have just puffled off.
Puffled off.
Bang!
Is that a word? Is puffled a word?
I was actually thinking about writing a book in about 10 years of all the stupid words I make up, making my own little dictionary, like going back through the podcast and finding all these words.
Amazing. Ian's dictionary.
Yeah, puffled.
It's just 1,000 pages of Ian.
Yeah.
Page 128, column 5. Ian. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Of course it is, yeah.
And then, the next one. Oh, Puffle. Amazing.
Before we go on, there's one more point that I was going to say. So, this whole fourth dimension thing and things not being what they are, like ghosts are ghosts, aliens from planets, blah, 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 it all being this one entity. In a lot of stories that I hear, everything always kicks something else off, and it's always people that start looking into it. There's a saying from a podcast that I listen to that once you start looking at it, it starts looking back, right? So when you get interested in it and you actively start investigating it, it will then notice you and be like, oh, there's some prey, that kind of thing. Right. And in a lot of stories, somebody will say, for example, see a UFO. And then they will start experiencing poltergeist activity in their house. And then they will, for example, see a Bigfoot.
That we don't assume are connected.
Yeah. So you wouldn't think, oh, I've seen an alien, now there's poltergeist activity.
Right.
You start hearing noises, and then you start hearing growls in your house. And it's very sort of skinwalkery, where it's like everything. And people don't often think, they don't associate things like Bigfoot with ghosts.
Yeah, of course.
But these things will, a lot of the time, happen all at once, and there'll be a progression. I mean, if you saw an alien or a UFO, and then the next day you saw it, it'd get old hat, wouldn't it? So it makes sense, under this theory, that they're ramping it up and making it even creepier, and the high strangeness is just going through the roof, and you're just thinking, what the hell is going on? And then it feeds off it, because it drives you crazy.
Yeah, that is an interesting one, actually. That is very fascinating. The other thing I thought, when you said it feeds off fear, potentially.
Yeah.
So my fear is zombies. Mm-hmm. Why do you never really hear about zombies?
There has been some media coverage of people who are zombies recently, people who are on bath salts and stuff like that, and on drugs and doing crazy stuff. But I think zombies are so outside of the realms of believability because people just think a dead person has risen. That's like a physical, tangible thing. If I died and then you saw me, that would be too provable.
Oh, right, okay.
Does that make sense?
Right, I get you.
That'd be too easy to pinpoint as real, and then the cover would be blown because you'd be like, well, they exist now. It's like in Shaun of the Dead. They go through the whole rigmarole of it, and then at the end you see them using them as workers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd be too provable, and then people would be like, well, if zombies exist, then maybe everything else exists, and it'd become common knowledge, and they wouldn't be able to get from you what they wanted because it'd be too prevalent knowledge.
Well, that's good, because I don't ever want to see one.
Have you ever heard of, is it Haitian zombies from Haiti?
No, don't think so.
It's like witch doctors can concoct a powder that they give to someone, and it slows the heart rate right down, so they're presumed dead.
Right.
Then they go back after they're buried, dig them up, and they're like living zombies. So their motor functions are reduced, and their brain power is down, and their heart rate is pretty much nothing. And they feed them one particular thing, which keeps them well nourished, and they use them for workers. And apparently this is real.
And they don't come out of this again. That is just it.
Well, it's used as like a punishment. So if somebody does something wrong to them, they will do this as a punishment and like keep them as a zombie and use them for work. But then apparently if they eat sugar, it brings them out of it. So there's one story about this guy who had like a load of zombies. He had to go out with someone. He's like, right, love, I'm off to the pub. So he goes out, and then he comes back, and all his zombies are like free, and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry." And he's like, "What did you do?" And she's like, "Oh, I thought they all did good work, so I gave them a treat, I just gave them a cookie, and they all snapped out of it." And he's like, "You shouldn't have given them sugar."
Oh, no way.
So apparently sugar is what snaps them out of it. Yeah. So that apparently this is a real thing as well. So you should look that up
I will.
if you want to be scared out of your cock.
I hate being scared out of my knob. And did you mean Haiti?
Yeah, Haiti.
I think it's pronounced Haiti.
I like to be known that I am stupid because it means I am ever learning.
Or never learning.
Yeah, never learning.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts there. I found that quite interesting.
Yeah, I hope no one is bored to tears.
Well, if you've made it this far, congratulations. You can now hear some Chuck Norris facts.
If you've made it this far, Jordan will give you a blowjob.
That is not true. Ian said he would. Okay, so
two guys, one blowjob.
I'm not even gonna respond to this anymore. Okay, so these are just some that I found quite fun, and again, I don't think of these as jokes. These are facts.
Fun facts.
Oh yes, about Chuck Norris. So we'll start off easy. So what came first, the chicken or the egg? Neither. It was Chuck Norris. So that's a given, obviously.
Are you saying that Chuck Norris inseminated the chicken? So he came first. He came first.
Nice. Okay, so the Bermuda Triangle. It used to be square until Chuck Norris kicked in one corner. These are shit, aren't they? Okay, here we go. All right, let's carry on. So Chuck Norris once threw a boomerang, but he was too afraid to come back.
So he just threw a stick.
I think it defied the laws of our physics.
Okay.
Because it was just too afraid to come back to Chuck Norris.
Fair enough.
I think it went into that fourth dimension or something.
Yeah. some happy aliens right now.
Just throwing a frisbee.
Yeah. Boomerang.
Maybe that's what your son saw from out your window.
Maybe, yeah. That's what them triangular spaceships are.
It's just a frisbee.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. All right, so another one. Chuck Norris once uppercut a horse, and that's what we call giraffes.
And they just continue to mate that way, did they?
That's stupid.
Edited their genes.
Yes, yeah, possibly so. He's that powerful.
Yeah.
He has the ability. Chuck Norris uses a stunt double for his crying scenes.
Is he not man enough to cry?
That's so macho. This is one of my favourites. Chuck Norris visited the Virgin Islands. Now they're just the islands.
Oh my god. Can you imagine walking along these islands and just seeing Chuck Norris face down?
There's a little hole
pounding
in the ground.
Yeah. Don't look at me. You watch.
When Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, he found he had 3 missed calls from Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris doesn't climb trees, he just pulls them down and walks over them.
I just don't understand some of these.
It's just stupid, it makes no sense. It makes 0 sense. Anyone can slam a door shut. But Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door. This is so bad.
I must go great in arguments. Screw you, Cassandra.
It's just
How did you do that to that revolving door?
Last one. Chuck Norris sleeps with a nightlight. Not because he's afraid of the dark, but because the dark is afraid of Chuck Norris.
So considerate.
Oh, yeah. He's a good guy, our Chucky.
Good old Chucky Chuck.
Chucky N.
Surely there's some kind of joke in there about nunchucks were named after him or something.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Did I just invent one?
Yeah. I think you're calling it the Ian.
Of course I am. I'll call this one the Chuck.
Thanks for listening through my Chuck Norris facts.
No, man. Terrible.
Yeah, sorry. I'll do better next time.
I think it was a perfect way to end the show because it was very thoughty. You know, my brain is on overload at the moment. So it was a nice way to just relax.
It was a little more intense, wasn't it, this one?
Yeah.
But hey, that's not a bad thing.
Absolutely. Was it funny, though? Can we call ourselves a comedy podcast anymore?
Is it just a podcast?
I don't even think it's that anymore.
Just
Two idiots rambling.
Hey, that works for me.
No, but those Chuck Norris jokes are so lame that isn't he just like an old man with no acting skills? Oh, hang on. Sorry about this. There's somebody at my door. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
2 seconds.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, Chuck. Hey, buddy. Oh, I was only joking. No, please. Oh my God, no, don't Chuck. Grab the door, help me. Don't just stand there and watch.
You're on your own, buddy.
Ian, are you all right?
Thanks for that. I'll never do that again. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, are you all right?
I think so. I'm a little bit bruised.
Okay.
But he's so nice that he gave me a little hug after, so...
Like good old Chucky.
Yeah. Kicked me in and made me feel good about it.
So I hear just before we finished that you had maybe a challenge again in store?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got a challenge for you, Jordan.
Okay. What,
Right.
survived Chuck Norris?
I have survived Chuck Norris. He left my fingers intact so I can still do what I want to do for the challenge. Right, the challenge is... As many of you may remember, I set a challenge for Jordan a few weeks back where I wanted him to write some music and me to write some drums, and we were going to stick them together.
Yeah.
Which we did, which was brilliant. So what I'm going to do is reverse the roles, and you are going to do the drums, and I am going to do the music. And I want everyone to know that we can't play each other's instruments.
Yeah. So I hope you're ready for a cover of Seven Nation Army.
It's going to be shocking, like beyond horror.
Okay, so let's set a tempo and a time signature.
Okay, so do
So-
you want to just keep it 4/4 because that'll be
Okay, let's keep it 4/4.
for now. Yeah,
But let's go for a higher tempo. So let's say 160.
you want to do 160?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm ready for these drum fills.
You have actually got one of my drum pads and some sticks.
I do. Yeah.
So I hope you've been practicing.
Oh yeah. Like it's all I ever do. In fact, I'm surprised you don't hear it now.
Yeah, doing it with your toes.
I don't see. The thing is, I'd have come in with the joke there, but I don't know what any of these things are called. I was doing a paradiddle.
Hey, nice.
Hey, there
well
we
done.
go.
Nice one.
Because that sounds like paradiddle. Is that right?
That is, yeah, well, they all just sound. I mean, like
Well, I
people can't
suppose.
hear. They all just sound like this. Yeah, but it's the sticking that is different. So yeah, you did it
Yes.
right, right, left, right, and then left, right, left, left.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
That is
you.
one of the many rudiments that we should all be practicing.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, absolutely. I am the Lord.
Yeah. Well, we will see next week what this challenge turns out to be like, won't we?
Yeah, brilliant.
Have you got any ideas of how you're going to present yours? I guess, is it just going to be through MIDI things?
It will just be MIDI instruments, yep. And
Okay.
I might just like do one and then make another instrument and then copy and then drop it down so I can like put it in different notes. So it'll do harmonies and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I have no understanding of music theory when it comes to like keyboard and stuff. So it will be very dissonant.
Nice.
It will be probably all in C. It probably will be very all over the place, very choppy. I'll give you a little voice prep of what I think it's going to sound like. So it's going to be something like blah 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 blah.
Nice, so, that's perfect. Oh, we call that jazz.
Yes, exactly. I'm just a jazz musician. Not as bad as I thought I was.
No, it's perfect.
That'll give you something for you to write some drums to.
Yeah.
So you can start, get the motors whirring.
Yes, absolutely. So again, this Totally Blind, we'll just add them for next week and see what actual monstrosity this becomes.
This is going to be great. I can't wait.
It becomes the new theme tune.
Yeah, intro music. Once in college, my guitarist and I sat down and wrote a full album of music, and we just literally attacked the keyboard in times to a click, and then at the end of it, we named it what it sounded like. So I think they were all called The Strange World of, something like that, but like one of them sounded like a 90s cop show intro, so it was just called The Strange World of a 90s Cop Show. And I've still got the CD in the car, Perfect. So I might see if I can get it to you somehow.
You might CD if you can get it to me.
Oh, jokes galore! The comedy's back.
That genre still remains. Nice.
Oh, Twisted World. That was it. Twisted World of. So I'll let people know if they can. I'll let people see if they can hear it somehow.
Was it all instrumental? I guess.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. No lyrics. We were just literally sat in college with headphones on, ourselves. And like the tutors, who you'll know, were just like looking at us, just like, "What are you doing?" We're like, "Writing an album."
This is serious. Stop interrupting me.
Serious stuff. Yeah. We're musicians, jazz musicians.
Yeah. And don't forget, today's topic is all about Strawberry Fields Forever. Hope you've listened to it.
Yeah. Can I be excused? Right. So I think that brings us about to an end.
I think it does. That is a good place to leave it. All gone.
Two things before we go. One is I was looking at our analytics for our listener base, and less than 1% of our listeners is in Australia.
Oh, I don't know any Australians.
I listened to 2, but that's about it. But I just wanted to say to our Australian listeners out there, if you're not just like a pair of legs, because it is less than 1, so I don't know if it's like half a person. So if you have ears, thanks for listening. I just want to appreciate the little guys, out there.
We're not saying Australians are below us, the little guys.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, if you look at the world, they're at the bottom, aren't they? They are from the land down under. But yeah, just wanted to say, thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you for listening, genuinely.
Somebody all the way over the other side of the world listens to our stupid voices.
Yeah. Poor people.
Second thing I wanted to say is that we have a website in the works.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So at the end of these podcasts, we won't have to say, you can find us on Twitter, you can find us on blah, 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 and have to go through the whole spiel, which I haven't managed to actually script or learn, so it always sounds horrible and disconjointed. And we can just say, visit our website, and we can just link that easily.
That's true.
But, yeah, that is coming up. So it might even actually be out now because
maybe by the time that we do, yeah, we'll see.
So check the links in the description, and it might be there.
Yeah,
and then check it out. And we have a TikTok now as well.
Oh, we do. Yes. Do visit the old
so
TikTok.
You can finally see the stupid faces that accompany our stupid voices.
It's all in such harmony.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
All right, I'm going to attempt some outro, shall I?
Oh, yes, if you wouldn't mind, please, that'd be great.
I might get it totally wrong.
I'm just going to...
Sort out your wounds.
Tend to my broken limbs.
So thank you for listening, everybody. Do find us on the old socials. We've got TikTok, Instagram, 2 Facebooks.
1 group, 1 page. We're not just greedy.
Yeah. And we also have Twitter. Links will be in the description. Thank you for listening.
They are.
Have a lovely rest of your evening, day, week, month, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you next week, hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully you haven't just, done them over, so they'll just be like, right, cheers, yeah, I'll have a lovely month. Catch you then. Yeah. Get no listeners for a month.
Do come back.
Yeah, please come back.
Otherwise we'll get Chucky on you.
Yeah. He's my pal now.
Ta-ra, everybody. See you soon.
Bye-bye. Jordan, that was a fucking shit outro.